I'm your Aditi ma'am, and today I am going to tell you exactly how you need to cover your complete science syllabus in just 10 days. Yes, you heard me right. We are going to cover the complete 10th syllabus in just 10 days. Okay, we know we have studied the whole year and we need to hurry now because our exams are on 17th Feb. So we need to hurry, we need to revise quickly, rapidly, and that's how I am going to tell you exactly how to do it. Okay, now the very first thing is the strategy. We have 10 days. We need to cover physics, chemistry and biology. So the first thing you do is know your syllabus. The high weightage chapters, the high priority topics, and avoiding irrelevant content. Very important third point, because you can focus on high weighted chapters, you can focus on key terms, but if you keep on studying from random places, you'll get nowhere. Okay, so let's see in depth what I'm trying to tell you. First, these are our 13 chapters, 4 of chemistry, 5 of biology and 4 of physics. Done? Exactly how to revise this. Now I have curated each chapter in such a way that you revise it properly. You have to give 3 to 4 hours a day to science, right? We'll practice, we'll do revision, we'll go through concepts, we'll go through questions in those 3 to 4 hours every day. Right? Now how exactly to do it in just 7 days? The exact timetable is here. Okay, so the first, we have 10 days. First we will be starting with light, add metals and non-metals, because those chapters are a bit big. You have to go through ray diagrams, you have to go through concepts, you have to go through numericals, and then you have to go through questions, the difference questions, all the concepts in metals and non-metals. Okay, second day we'll go through electricity, all the numericals, and then chemical reactions and equations. I'll give you all the detailed key topics in just the next slide. Okay, this is just the timetable. So third day we'll do acid, bases and salts and control and coordination. Moving to human eye, chotu chapter, but with that you have to do heredity. Okay, then carbon and its compounds, a major chapter. With that you have a chotu chapter, that is our environment. Okay, then life processes, magnetic effects of electric current on the 6th day, and on 7th you have how do organisms reproduce, a big chapter. So I've given the whole day to that chapter. Now 3 days left, that is for complete chemistry, complete biology and complete physics, because now we have studied it chapter wise. We have to combine all our revision. Okay, we'll do complete chemistry, biology and physics each day, so that you have a clear, concise idea that you have read the concepts, you have done the numericals and you have revised them. Okay, now what exactly the strategy you have to follow for each subject, because each subject is different. Now for physics you require problem solving skills, and chemistry we know it has equations, balancings. Biology on the other hand has concepts, terminologies, diagrams that you need to cover. Now what is the question pattern for each? Of course physics require problem solving, so because of numericals. Okay, then chemistry needs equations and reactions, because they'll ask you balancing equation questions, they'll ask you to write this exact neutralization reaction. Okay, then biology, they'll emphasize on concepts and diagrams. Okay, so you need to go through each subject very differently. Now moving on to what chapter wise topics you need to see. In physics you have to have a formula sheet stuck on your desk. I've told you, how many times I've told you, right? So stick that formula sheet right now, then practice the questions and revise regularly. Chapter wise if we see, first is our chapter light. We have to go through their numericals, their theory, ray diagrams, everything. Okay, then moving on to electricity, we have again numericals based on resistivity, resistor, power, energy. Okay, and then we have magnetic effects of electric current. Right hand thumb rule is very important, ma'am, we know that. Fleming left hand rule, solenoid is very important, and domestic circuit is very, very important. Draw it on your notebook every day, like every day when you are revising physics. Okay, then human eye has defects, atmospheric reactions, correction of the defects, atmospheric reactions and its applications like Tyndall effect, scattering of the light, everything. Okay, rainbow, Next is our chemistry. Just as we had formula sheet for physics, we have equation sheet for chemistry. Done. All the most important reactions, you write it there, paste it on your desk and go through it every day. Okay, done. Chapter wise, if you see, for metals and non-metals, we have chemical properties of metals, extraction of ore. Done. Chemical reactions and equations, we have types of chemical reaction, their balancing, corrosion and their rusting. Okay, then carbon and its compounds, very important chapter. Nomenclature in this chapter is very important. Even if you go to +1 and +2, this is a very important topic. Nomenclature is the most important topic. Okay, functional groups, again very important. Then chemical reactions of alkene and homologous series. Okay, then last is acid, bases and salts, pH scale, very important. Reactions of acid and bases and indicators. Done. Moving on to biology, we have, now in biology you don't need a formula sheet, you don't need a chemical reaction sheet. What you need is to clear your concepts. Done. To clear your concepts, make the summary, read the summary, make mind maps of the chapters because chapters are so big, right? And then practice diagrams and with their labelings. Labeling is very important. Without labeling, diagram is of no use. Okay, so key points in biology is life processes. You have to remember the diagrams and make mind maps. Done. Then control and coordination, plant hormones, tropical movements, functions for each part of the brain, very important topic. Done. Then heredity, laws of genetics and their examples, very important, and ABO, blood group. Done. How do organisms reproduce? Important topics, forms of asexual reproduction, types of pollination, importance of placenta and contraceptive methods, all you need to know. Done. Then our environment, numericals on 10% law, not much numericals, but on 10% law you might be having numericals. Biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste, biomagnification and bioaccumulation, very important, and ozone. Done. We are done with all the chapter wise revisions. Now ma'am, we have to practice questions. But where do we practice questions from? You practice questions from the material given by CBSE itself. Okay, CBSE has given you sample question papers, even question banks from where you can revise all your chapters, all your topics. Done. But before that, before directly jumping onto sample papers, go through CBSE website, you will have sample papers here. But before directly jumping onto sample papers, go through NCERT, because NCERT is the BOP of your class 10th physics, of your class 10th science. Okay, then the exemplar, then move on to CBSE sample paper. After that, if you have time, only after that, if you have time, go to another books. Oswald is one of the good books you can go to get through, to get to know what are the extra kind of questions you can practice after you're done with NCERT, exemplar and sample paper. Done. Now some of the mistakes you need to avoid. The first one is skipping diagrams and labels. I know this is very basic detail, but if you don't label the diagrams are of no use. Okay, the examiner should know that the part you have drawn is a heart, right? Then neglecting units in answers. While you are writing answers, you should write it as a power, that means it's watt. If in chemistry it's gram or kg, these are very important units, these are very important points. Okay, and not reading your questions carefully. I say every time, as we read, we write. As we read the question, we write what's given, we write what we have to find, and we then go to the solution. Done. Okay, and the last thing you have to do is to subscribe Diksha Vedantu. I have given you the exact strategy, the exact roadmap. Just follow this and you will see the difference. Just follow this for next 10 days and you will be completing your whole class 10th science syllabus. That's a big deal, right? Okay, prepare for your exams very carefully. Join the live sessions. We are doing all the questions, the important questions, PYQs, repeated ones, everything. Okay, now go revise that, stick the formula sheet, stick that equation sheet, and let me know if you have done it in the comment section. Till then, tada, bye bye.